Hey, what's up guys? Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today is going to be Altergeist Dogmatika. Now this deck is absolutely insane. The deck is a really fun control deck, and it's like, I wouldn't say that it's independent, but it's able to utilize all traps and in their archetype and actually use a lot of traps better than most other decks can. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting things off, I play 3 copies of Multi-Faker. Honestly, this card speaks for itself. It is one of the best cards in the entire deck. This deck is Multi-Faker Turbo. If you can't get into Multi-Faker, then you die. Honestly, when Multi-Faker was limited, like, it just didn't, the deck wouldn't really accomplish anything. But now with Multi-Faker back at 3, like, it's been at 3 for a long time now. What am I talking about? But like, honestly, it's really good for the deck. So I play 3 copies of Mulliseek. This card, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can search an Altergeist card. So that means you can easily just link it off for a Link Karibo, search a card, and this is basically another 3 copies of Mulliseek, or Multi-Faker, which again, deck Multi-Faker Turbo. I play 3 copies of Marionetter. So this might seem weird that I'm playing 3 copies of all of them in a deck that has another normal summon, but the thing is that I actually haven't been seeing the Dogmatika engine a ton, and when I do, it's usually like later on in the game. It's really weird because like I play a ton of consistency cards for the Dogmatikas, but for some reason I just never see them. And so having more normal summons in the deck, although it seems like excessive, it's actually really good. So like Mulliseek, Marionetter, and Ecclesia are all my normal summons in the deck, and then the rest of them are just a garnish. So I play 2 copies of Soliloquy, and then I play 1 copy of Kinkiri. So Soliloquy provides another disruption. Literally, it's the only reason why Altergeist is good. Like, Multi-Faker gets you to Soliloquy, but like, the deck is still Multi-Faker Turbo. This card is really good for the deck, and like, even though most people hate seeing it, it's solid. And then Kinkiri is for like battle stuff, because like it's basically a battle fader for the deck, which is like surprisingly good. So like I said, I play 3 copies of Ecclesia and 1 copy of Fleur de Lis. These are the Dogmatika engine, and honestly, like, the idea of Altergeist Dogmatika is that you play the Dogmatika side of the deck on your turn, then play the Altergeist side on your opponent's turn, which the deck does do very well. I played 3 copies of Nadir Servant, because even when you use it on your turn, you don't really summon from the extra deck a ton, save for Hextia and Link Karibo, so like, still. I played 3 copies of Personal Spoofing. This card is insane, and I really wish it was an Altergeist card, because then Altergeist or Multi-Faker Turbo would be a lot easier, because then you basically turn Marionetter into another copy Multi-Faker. But like, this card is still really good. Even if it's not searchable, it's easily used and utilized in the deck, because you can use stuff like returning your Soliloquy, which is technically a brick in the deck, because you need to summon it off of Multi-Faker, but you can use spoofing to return your brick to the deck, and then search the Multi-Faker, which then you can summon and pop off. I've been playing 2 copies of Protocol and 2 copies of Manifestation. I'm honestly thinking about cutting 1 copy of Manifestation for another copy of Protocol, because Protocol makes all of your cards spell speed 4, as well as makes them, or gives you another negation on the field. But the thing is that, like, this card is does technically clog a little bit, but like, honestly, I never use Manifestation. Like, Manifestation, while good, I just don't use it, and it's kind of an underutilized card in this deck. There's quite a few utilities for it, but like honestly I just don't really like it. It's still a good card, but it's easily searchable, and I'm thinking about again cutting one copy of it for another copy of Protocol, just because of how busted Protocol is. I play 3 copies of Torrential Tribute, because this card is literally a free board wipe on your opponent's turn, and like honestly this is the best deck to utilize it in. I play 3 copies of Dogmatika Punishment. It's easily searchable, and even if you don't draw into your Dogmatika side of the deck, just drawing into this and Multi-Faker is still really, really good. I played 3 copies of Strike and 2 copies of Judgment, just because like I found that this was the right ratio for the Solemn Brigade, because like honestly Wishes doesn't, or what's its face, Warning doesn't really do anything. But Strike right now is really good, especially against decks like Dragon Link, and Judgment stopping summons is really, really good. And then rounding off the main deck, I play 3 copies of Imperm because Imperm is Imperm. But that is it for the main deck. Going into the extra deck, I play 3 copies of Hextia. This card's really good, provides more negation. Honestly, like, I don't use it a ton, but I like it's easily utilized in the deck, and is another reason why you could actually play Pot of Prosperity, but I don't know why I didn't really do it, other than, like, just a little bit of, like, just wanting to play more trap cards. I play 1 copy of Avermax for an unbeatable monster, 1 copy of Access Code for OTKs, 1 copy Unicorn for Access Code plays, 1 copy of Phoenix for removal of spells and traps, 1 copy of IP Masquerena because quick effect links are good, 2 copies of Link Karibo for the plays with Molaseek and getting a search onto your Multi-Faker, 3 copies of Entis, and 2 copies of Five-Headed Dragon for the stuff with Dogmatika Punishment. Like, really, I just didn't really use a ton of the extra deck space, which is why I played it like this. But that is it for the extra deck. So I don't really have any replays for this deck, because, like, even though I have been testing it, like, I kind of just lost them in the shuffle. So I'll just run through the extra deck and finish off the video. I played 3 copies evenly because blind second. I played 3 copies of Secret Village because all the monsters you have are spellcasters, and since you don't play any floodgates, I figured this was a good one to play, other than like Imperial Order, which like it clashes a little bit with your Nadir Servant, which is why I chose to play Secret Village as opposed to the other card. I played 3 copies of Droll, 3 copies of Nib, and 3 copies of Lancia. Droll is for every matchup, Nib is for the Dragon Link / Rogue deck matchups, and Lancia is for Eldritch. But that is pretty much it for the video. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, let me know what you thought, and let me know if there's anything you would change about the deck. Would you change up the starting card lineup? Because, like, I did play a lot of them, but I'm just kind of debating, because this deck, it works. It's just, like, I've been coming across some hurdles while doing playtesting. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and I will see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace, guys.